Rob Perillo.
Welcome back. Well, the weather's going to be good over the next couple of days, but all the while we are going to be watching tropical storm, which should become Hurricane Delta later on tonight. It should become a major storm in the Gulf of Mexico, and it should have some impacts on Louisiana, perhaps Acadiana as well, but a lot can change in the days ahead. So let's take a look at some of the steering influences that we're going up against and what we're going to be dealing with. First off, we have Delta, which is now down to a depression, very small system right here, but could be an influencing factor. Delta down here southwest of Jamaica. A trough, we'll talk more about that in just a bit, but right now what's guiding the system is a ridge of high pressure that is pushing Delta generally to the west with time. Now, as it gets closer to the Yucatan, Gamma is going to kind of curl around here and just sit by the northwestern tip of the Yucatan, so that's going to help draw Delta into the Gulf of Mexico and then maybe a little bit westward. And then this trough that's going to be in Texas, this is going to amplify a bit, and this is going to make the system more than likely turn to the north and then perhaps to the northeast right at landfall. But there's a lot in play, and the forecast track may change with time, as well as the intensity more than likely. So here is Gamma flaring up a little bit this afternoon. Notice all the storms that got sheared away well to the north and east of the system, and some light rain out over by Florida. Meanwhile, our weather is good, and then Delta just getting better and better organized today. Hurricane hunters got down there this afternoon and found pressure some 15 millibars lower than the 1 p.m. bulletin, but that was based on satellite imagery and some limited surface observations. So this thing is intensifying. You see right at the end, you see we have maybe a little bit of a weakening trend. Now we're starting to see a flare up on the eastern side of the eye, which is about 18 miles in diameter, but not visible on the satellite imagery quite yet. So this is now a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm, expected to become a hurricane later tonight and perhaps go through a rapid intensification cycle through the northwest Caribbean and into the southern Gulf of Mexico. Forecast now 120-mile-per-hour winds, and I think there's actually a little room for more before this system will interact with that trough, hopefully weaken a bit. But right now, the call is for a 100-mile-per-hour storm making landfall Friday afternoon right along the St. Mary Parish, Terrebonne Parish border. So all of Acadiana in the cone, and again, we can be at least one category off at this time, and your forecast error is the width of this cone. So it could certainly go farther to the east, which is favored by climatology, but climatology doesn't work in 2020. So we'll see how that goes. But nonetheless, there's going to be a risk, and I think there's going to be a significant hurricane risk to Louisiana and perhaps to portions of Acadiana. Good news for us, water temperatures, shelf water temperatures are cooler than normal, but I've seen hurricanes assist on 77 degree temperatures. And look, you just go out 100 miles or so, it's above 80, and this is the prime zone it's going to be in over the next couple of days. Very hot water, lots of heat potential for a tropical cyclone. So let's take a look at the two big models. Here's the European model, which has a hurricane but is farther west with the track. Look at this. It gets south of Lake Charles, then interacts with that trough, then begins to move northward and has a landfall sometime, we think, Friday night. This is based on the European model, but all of Acadiana seeing hurricane conditions with this model run. GFS has been more consistent and has done a better job this year, so we're going to give this a lot of credence. And right now, the National Hurricane Center forecast is right in line with the GFS forecast. Here we go on Thursday. Winds begin to pick up Thursday night. Tropical rain bands come in as we head into Friday morning. Tropical winds and maybe hurricane force winds moving into southeast Louisiana. Locally heavy rainfall, but this is going to be moving along. But this is going to produce a big surge along and east of where the center makes landfall, and obviously hurricane force winds. And how strong? Still too early to tell. So in the near term, our weather looking good. This is the graph model that shows you Gamma down here kind of sitting on the northwestern portion of the Yucatan. Then we could have a little Fujiwara effect where they kind of interact with each other and dumbbell a little bit, and that's why we're going to have to watch for Delta being pulled farther to the west before it gets its move to the north and northeast. But notice the graph model certainly deepening a storm, and this is just through Wednesday afternoon. So more than likely we're going to be looking at a significant hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, and once these storms get in the Gulf, they have no place to go but inland, and this time it's going to be along the northern Gulf Coast, anywhere from Louisiana all the way over to the western Florida Panhandle. But for now, in the near term, looking good. Down to 57 tonight. We were 58 this morning. Tomorrow, another nice day, mostly sunny skies, low to mid 80s. Clouds on the increase as we head into Wednesday. Thursday, we could see some tropical tropical showers, and of course watching Delta for potential impacts here locally. And I do expect a hurricane watch to be posted for portions of the Acadiana area, maybe Morgan City on eastward, starting as early as tomorrow night or early Wednesday morning. So guys, here we go again. Another week of watching a tropical system, and hopefully this is the last one of the year, but the way it's been going,
this is 2020 after all. I mean, what more needs to be said?
Another kind of October surprise, perhaps.
All righty. Thank you, Robin.